everyone, this is Elena. Welcome to my channel. I am a new mom and the new image consultant. Basically, I became the two at the same moment. I decided to kind of share my struggles, my wins, how it is to be a mom and chasing your career at the same time here on YouTube. But the struggles are so many that this is actually the first time I'm managing to create some content because my baby is out with his aunt. I decided to kind of create a sum up of my first 5 months as a new mom and as a new image consultant, and you know, the highs and the lows and so on. So yeah, let's dive into it. Let's start a bit from before. When I found out I was pregnant, I was not happy at all. I knew I wanted a baby. I was even, talking to my partner Elliot about having a baby. Let's try next year. But I don't think we know what it really means. Like, I'm really curious to know how women that plan having a baby feel when they find out they're pregnant, because it was crazy. When I found out that I was pregnant, it was the weirdest feeling I've ever had. And I thought I was feeling so, sad because I was afraid of my parents, because, they're very conservative, traditional, religious parents. And I was not married. They had just seen my boyfriend once. And I really thought that was the main reason for me being not so happy for being pregnant. When I told my parents, I had to do it over a video call because I live in London, they live in Italy. They were actually happy. I was shocked, even my dad. I think they felt like, oh, she's finally settling down. Like, it's not that I had many relationships, but for my dad, one was enough. So I think that's what they felt. She's okay, now she has a baby, there's not more playing around. But I realized that my fear, my everyday moodiness didn't leave me after I told them. Actually, every day I was waking up and I was realizing again and again and again that it's true. That's gonna be my reality now. And it just every morning I had to get used to the idea of becoming a mom. And I'm gonna tell you what, I never really enjoyed my pregnancy. I constantly feared gaining weight. I constantly feared that I'm not going to be a good mom. Loads of friends were telling me, oh my God, so did you buy many clothes? And it was like month 7 and I still hadn't bought anything for the baby, and I felt such a bad mom. I was like, everyone is expecting me to be, buying things, and I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting informed about anything. And that's kind of how I lived my pregnancy up until the last day. I never enjoyed it fully. Of course, I enjoyed few moments like the first kicks and him kicking and the ultrasounds, but that was it. Pregnancy is not for me. And I realized that the first hour after I gave birth. If you are in that situation, if you're a mom or a new mom or someone that's pregnant that is not feeling it and is feeling so guilty, because that's how I felt. I felt like the worst human being for not being happy, for not enjoying my pregnancy. The guilt was so crazy because I thought this is how I'm gonna be when I give birth as well. And fast forward to when I gave birth, 1 hour after, I felt like the most powerful woman in the whole world. I felt like the most beautiful. I felt like the whole weight had left my body, and it was amazing. I knew in that first moment that pregnancy was not for me, but motherhood was for me. And it was so amazing to get rid of that sense of guilt together with, that amount of weight that I was carrying. But guys, I loved being a mom from the first moment. It was so crazy. I think that's the first point I want to make for new moms or future moms out there. If pregnancy is not doing you well, that's all right. Like, we don't all glow during the pregnancy. Everyone has their own rhythms and their own ways to deal with things. Fast forward, I become a new mom. I decided to give birth at home. There's a whole video if you want to check it out. I vlogged everything. It was the most amazing experience. I will do it 10,000 times if I had to have more 10,000 more babies. And it was amazing to be at home the moment after, just lie in my bed with our baby and not leave home. And you know, the midwives came here the day after and the day after again. They checked on me, they checked on the baby. Everything was perfectly fine. I took a picture, I'm gonna post it here, immediately after I gave birth, the same day. Guys, I was walking, I was flying, not even walking. I was so happy and I was feeling powerful and beautiful, as I said. Even the non-sleeping part was not so hard at the beginning. I think after you give birth, they say you run on endorphins, and there's what was that substance, the substance of love or something. I don't remember. Anyways, there's a substance, I'm gonna write it on the screen at some point, that your body releases after you give birth, and you know, you run on that. You don't feel sleepy, you don't feel tired. And I'm gonna be honest, it was not so hard waking up and staying awake in the beginning. I think my first struggle arrived. He was 8 days and I had to take him for his hearing check, and my partner was sick and I had to leave the house alone with him. And guys, I was terrified. I was so afraid of taking the bus with him, and we were struggling a bit with breastfeeding as well, and it was, you know, so painful. I said it so many times, I think breastfeeding, it's much more painful than giving birth, but that's topic for another video probably. So I was so scared. I remember I was crying on the roads because I don't know, it is just you and this tiny human being, and you're responsible for them. Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I remember from the beginning, being very, very scared to leave the house with him. And the main reason being because it hurt me so much to breastfeed that I was so afraid to do it outside. Whereas at home, I could take my time, he could cry, I could cry. Whereas outside, it would have been very hard. At the beginning, we didn't have a very good latch. We didn't work on it, and I developed thrush that I'm still fighting with. So I'm 5 months on and I don't think I've ever had a painless breastfeeding session, but I got used to the pain. What can I say? I'm afraid from when he's gonna have his first teeth and he's gonna also bite, but you really get used to the pain. The doctors just gave me a cream. It's not working for me, it's not doing anything for him, so we're just keeping this thrush, I guess, until we're done breastfeeding. I don't know. So that's been a major challenge, and breastfeeding, guys, it's very, very painful. Get ready. I mean, I don't want to scare anyone, but I feel like we are not talking about it. I also heard very positive stories about breastfeeding. Maybe it was just me, but it was hard. It was so hard. Another thing that I felt I was struggling a bit with in the beginning was missing my partner so much, like just spending time with him, because I was with a baby 24/7. You know, you cannot really sit on the sofa and watch TV anymore like you used to do. I really started to miss, you know, just spending time with him, hugging him, just being the two of us. It sounds silly, but I spoke to a few moms and they all kind of feel it. You just need to get adjusted to a whole new, I don't know, roommate and human being in your life and family member and so on. And I was a bit sad. Like, I really felt like, oh, I miss you, I want to be with you. But that's minor in a way. You feel it because I think there's so many things that add up and you feel that too. On the other side though, you feel resentment as well towards your partner. And as a woman, I think, as a new mom, that's what happened to me. Just the baby wants their mom so much. Even after a few months, my baby was struggling to be with his dad. He was crying so much. He really wanted just me. And that was so hard, you guys, because I felt like I had no time to breathe, no time to go to the bathroom, no time to take a proper shower. And I know we all talk about these things, but until you leave them, you're like, how is that possible? Like, come on, it's just a tiny human being. But yeah, because these babies need you so much, you kind of start resenting your partner for snoring in the corner because they can't do anything because you're breastfeeding anyways, and so on and so on. And I tried to talk to my partner, and he's like, I'm not resenting you. And I'm like, of course you're not, but sometimes I do, and I'm so sorry. Like, you know, if I'm moody or if I'm, you know, a bit more, I don't know, I don't want to talk, or I'm maybe mad at you. I think you just want both parents to struggle the same, or you just feel it's unfair that you are the only one struggling so much. Anyways, on a whole, I would say that my first 3 months as a new mom were amazing. I really enjoyed being with him, getting, you know, adjusted. It was also easy because my sister was still living in London, so she would be around here every weekend, spending time with me and baby Vis, that's his name. And it was very easy. Like, I didn't feel I was struggling. I was so happy. I swear, like, he also was born in July, so it was a perfect weather outside. It was very nice, sunny. So we used to go on so many brunches, and he would sleep, or he would enjoy being outside. It was very nice. You know what? Like, never again, ever since I had a baby, I had that feeling of emptiness that I used to have every other day when I did not have a baby. You just feel like you have a purpose now. Even if, you know, I had to leave my career a bit on the side, he was the reason why I was doing everything, and it just made sense. Like, it never felt like a sense of sacrifice. I told my partner, sometimes I just find myself hanging clothes after washing them and just smiling because I'm doing it for the 2 people I love so much. So it's crazy. Like, I always wanted to be to have a family, and I knew I was a family woman, but I also really wanted a career, and I still kind of do. And that's why, while I was pregnant and immediately after I gave birth, I still, you know, studied, and I took my exams to become an image consultant. And that happened literally, I graduated a month after he was born. That's why I said I became a new mom and a new image consultant at the same time. And of course, this after graduation would be the best time to practice, to get new clients, and, you know, but I have to put that on standby for a while because he is priority. And my point is, it doesn't feel like sacrifice. It just feels like it just makes sense. This is the sense of life, is having a family. And yeah, I mean, I'm so happy I feel like that because, as I said, during pregnancy, I felt so sad. I was convinced I would have some kind of postpartum depression, and I never really did. I was so happy after I gave birth, and I still am. He's 5 months now, and I think I was a fool to believe that the hardest was the beginning. Or, I mean, that's what the mainstream kind of teaches us, like the hardest is the beginning. I found it harder once he hit 4 months, because there's this famous sleeping regression that, you know, like, now he sleeps and he wakes up continuously, and he wakes up and he wants to chat, and he wants to talk, and he wants to play, and he wants to be held, and so many things, and it's just so much harder. And another thing is, I live in London. It gets dark outside around 4 p.m. and we just stay indoors, and he gets bored, and I just need to invent games all the time to entertain him. And I'm not that kind of person. I feel like I have the nurturing feature. Like, I can give him love and food and dress him up and give him baths and stuff. But when it comes to playing, that's his dad. It's I've never even was a kid that was playing. I think I was such a sad kid, to be fair. Yeah, I never really liked games. That's not me. So this is why I'm struggling so much now. When during the day, I'm just spending time outside with him. Now he's eating few solids as well, so I just love going to the coffee shops, get a natural juice so he can taste a bit of that as well, and it's just fun and nice experiencing these things. But yeah, the boredom part where he needs to be entertained and I need to constantly find things to do, especially after I haven't slept all night. That's a big challenge right now. So that's what we're facing. In a week, we're going to Italy to see my parents, and it's going to be the first time traveling with him, and I'm going to travel alone because my partner will come later on. And I'm a bit scared, but I'm also super excited to experience this with him. So I love traveling, so I hope you will love traveling as well. I used to be that person that was praying before flights to not be close to a baby. And now that's gonna be me having a baby and probably people looking at me like, get out of the plane. But well, we'll see how that goes. Probably there's so many more things to say in terms of how, these past 5 months have been, but I don't want to brag it, on for too long. It's been amazing. It's been fulfilling. It's been challenging. But I think the main takeaway, if you are watching this, is there's no way you're going to be a bad mom if you are not feeling your pregnancy. That's the main one, because it was life-changing for me. Yeah, so that was motherhood-wise. When it comes to styling and career-wise, I'm proud to have taken my exam while he was a little baby. He really became a sort of motivation because I was like, you are so little and I really want to show you that, your mommy is doing a bit more than just sitting at home. And the day I took my exam, basically it was in Paris. So I just pumped a lot of milk. Elliot stayed home with him and I left for Paris in the morning at 6 a.m. and I took my exam and I came back to London at like 8 p.m. the same day. And it was one of the most amazing days ever since I became a mom as well, because I just felt like I have it all. I felt, I'm out there, I'm taking an exam, I'm living this bougie life. But then I'm going home to my man, and it is so crazy how my life changed overnight. I was really thinking that I'm just going to focus on becoming a very good image consultant, and I'm going to have my clients, and I'm going to, just rock this industry, and then I'm going to have a baby. And probably if it went that way, I would have probably felt like there's no really purpose in my life every single day. Whereas now it just feels that I'm a mom, the purpose is there. And on top of that, I'm also doing something for myself that, some days goes amazing. Some days, they're totally flat. I don't feel like doing anything. There's so much that I still need to learn. There's so much practice that I still need to do. But I just, I have days when I feel like, oh, I want to do it so much. And I have days when I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be a mom. But it's done. I have a certification. I have a baby. I have a partner. And yeah, life is just good. So wrapping it up, I'm just having my coffee because I really need it, guys. Last night he didn't sleep at all. I mean, he slept, but quite badly. Babies are very noisy sleepers. At the beginning, I thought, oh my God, he's waking up. What's going on? No, you need to let them do. They're still sleeping, but it's hard for you to sleep because they are so noisy and you just get worried. Oh, well, that was a thing from the beginning. I used to check on him constantly because I was afraid that he's not breathing. And I remember, I think it was 3 days after I gave birth, I was so anxious. I was like, how can I protect this little baby forever? What if something will happen? What if a war is coming? What if some, natural disaster? Like, my mind was just traveling, just thinking of the worst, and I had to check on him constantly. I couldn't leave him alone in the room, and I was just crying because I really felt the need to know I'm gonna be able to protect him forever. It is so crazy, and you're just gonna probably understand when you have your baby. And I still have it sometimes when he sleeps and I look at him and I'm like, please God, make him be all right forever. Before becoming a mom, I always felt like I'm the baby. How can I have a baby? How can I take care of a baby when I am the baby? Like, even now when I feel sick, I have to call my mom and she tells me what to do. Whereas when you have your baby, that instinct just comes out. And I remember before delivering, I was constantly every day reading things like on how to take care of the babies. What if that? And I was so frustrated because I couldn't, memorize everything. And that's so useless, because then when you have that baby, something happens, you're gonna Google it and you're gonna and you're gonna do it then. Like, there's so much pressure we put on ourselves before becoming moms, and when you actually become mom, you realize I was so silly, because it all makes sense, once your baby is there and you learn. It's a new thing. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Even now, sometimes he's crying and I'm like, oh, stop it, why is it, oh, look at this and look at that and this, oh, and look outside and look at the light. And then I realized, oh my God, last time I fed him was 4 hours ago. Like, this baby is hungry. But you need to get used to things. You have so many things on your head that the most obvious things, like, your baby being hungry. Don't judge me, please, don't judge me. You forget. At least I did. I mean, hopefully there's more moms out there, and if they're not, that's me, and I promise you I'm still a good mom. And with that, I'm gonna wrap up this sum up of the 5 months. I think it was a bit all over the place, but I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy talking about motherhood more than I expected, and that's nice. So I'll see you next time for another one. And I'm new to this, but if you like my channel, please subscribe, like this video, and all those things they say. I'll see you soon for another one. Bye!